Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cookiecast. Today it's week 6 of NFL podcast. How's everyone doing in their leagues this week? We've got special guests this week. We were joined by the Blunt Force Trauma's Colin Wright, and all the way from Oxford Way, Mr. Benji Keep. This is week 6 review, week 7 preview of the NFL fantasy season. We'll warn you, because of the number of people that we had on, it ended up being quite a long one. It's well over an hour and a half, but hopefully an hour and a half of good content. So check this out and see what you think to this. This is Cookiecast NFL podcast for week 6 review, week 7 preview. Are we all flashing? Flashing. Blue lights going up and down. Right, it's podcast time. Let's do this. Give it one of these. Yeah, we don't need to do that anymore, but I'll still do it anyway.
Nice.
Right, this is just... I don't know what this is anymore. So, podcast roll call time. All the way from York on FaceTime, live on camera, Mr. Colin Wright.
It was a wave call.
Oh,
it's a salute. Even better.
Salute.
Beverly, I was going to say, definitely not York.
Beverly, Jesus. My glamorous co-host, Mr. Paul Williams.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
On the phone from Oxford.
Yep.
There we go. Mr. Benji Keep. And our lovely, glamorous assistant, Lianne Davies, master of the stats. Gentlemen.
Stats mistress.
Gentlemen and lady, I would like to invite you all to the new Cookiecast NFL podcast. Here it comes. Yorkshire's #1 NFL podcast. Yeah, boy!
We've got fist bumps and oohs going on.
Right, we have.
Oh, amazing.
I'm fist pumping.
Good lad.
Currently undisputed.
Well, week 6.
Week 6.
Where do we start?
Review going in. Can you believe it's going to be week 7?
Halfway.
Almost halfway.
It's disgusting, quite frankly.
Almost after week 8. We're officially halfway through.
Nice.
So, Benji was unable to join us last week. Nobody said anything bad about him in any way, shape or form. There were no harsh comments made.
Nobody knocked his score.
Nobody commented on his score or his team or him as a man. Nobody said anything. Nobody...
Whoa. Why is anyone commenting on me as a man anyway? Say what you want about my team.
And certainly nobody. Certainly. Nobody.
Now, say that again, Cole.
Is there a direct link between your masculinity and your performance of your team?
I hope not. Jesus.
I was going to say at this point, I'm praying that is not the case.
But then, likewise, nobody felt really bad to find out that Benji was it trapped in surgery?
That's right. Yeah,
and he should have been
Berlin,
in Berlin. You tell us. Go on.
Medical breakthroughs to help save children's lives. So I hope you do feel bad if you did sign me off.
Look at the egg all over this face.
Is that flame retardant egg?
It would be, but that's a different podcast.
That is a different podcast.
So Benji has decided, this is where things get a little confusing. So Benji is filling in for Tim, who hasn't turned up this week. Benji is making up for the fact that he wasn't here last week, so he's filling in for Tim, who's not here this week. Cole would have been here this week, but Tim said he couldn't come till later, so Col went, well, I'll have to FaceTime because I can't come that late. And then Tim ended not coming, and Col is joining us from Beverley over the FaceTime. So that isn't confusing at all. Lianne wasn't going to join us this week because there was going to be so many people in the room that she wouldn't have fit, but as there's actually just the same number of people as last week in the room, Lianne has also joined us. I'm here, you're here.
And it's appropriate because Benji was my opponent this week, so...
Well.
We realised all too late that we could have had Thomas on last week because he was your opponent last week. So it's all very convoluted.
Yes.
So where do we normally start? What week? Week 6?
We normally give. Well, the previous weeks we've given a bit of a fantasy breakdown, haven't we?
Right. Let's jump all over it.
The scoreboard.
Dearie me. Obviously, I think we can all agree the reason that Tim didn't turn up this week is because he was beaten by yours truly.
Oh dear.
The Cookie, going 3-3 now, with 100 points, beat the Squirrel Killers, Tim Lacey, the 1-5 now, Tim Lacey, 79 points.
To be 1-5.
To have won even one game.
Speaking of...
Yeah.
I'll be honest, being 1-5 doesn't feel that good, I promise.
So, to my right and right again, we've got Obi-Wan Mahomes.
Aye.
That's you, Big Cole. Versus my esteemed co-host, Mr. Paul Williams, is Hide and Zeke.
I know exactly what he's saying. He's got to get that W sometime.
He's got the double.
It surely came in week 6.
Obi-Wan Mahomes 95.
For those who are not watching on the TV, I believe Mr. Wright has just opened the can of whoop-ass that he put on me this particular weekend. Stone Cold style. Excellent.
Wow.
Excellent.
So it's a 95 to a 71. At some point, Paul, we will have to talk about the 0-6, but not right now.
You play the long game, like Chucky. And the
Absolutely, man.
The long game.
I'm going for the 7-6 regular season, late season push to the playoff.
Playoff push.
Lulling us into a false sense of
Absolutely.
security.
I'm doing a damn fine job.
That's all that Zeke's doing, is that he's just holding himself back. Oh, we need to get onto that later because Tom offered me a trade.
Here we go.
Oh, that'll get discussed.
Then we move on to our other two attendees. Miss Lianne Davies with her team Come On Sack One versus our on-the-phone participant, Mr. Benji Keep's Oxford Heathens. It's another W for Miss Davies. 107 to 80. Well done there.
Big fat loss for me. Again, another one.
Join the club, Ben, mate. It's the dumb thing this season, I understand, losing.
Losing's the new winning.
Yeah.
It is. Losing is the new winning.
Going out's the new staying in, or...
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Now then, I do want to... Everybody needs to be talking about our it's such a breath of fresh air to say that Matthew Two Teams Hurley's Kaepernick's Nike went up against the monster that is both in stature,
The mighty.
in team, in looks. Quinn Corp with its with its holding the reins, Thomas Quinn. And it's finally happened, ladies and gentlemen. Matthew Two T's Hurley has been beaten 102 to his pitiful 87. It's a loss for Kaepernick's Nike.
But the main question that remains is, does the other Matthew in the league remain undefeated, Andrew?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Paul. Because I can tell you that feeling good, Mr. Matthew Moore went up against Crimea Phil Rivers' Philip Walls and was also defeated 119 to 81, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's getting knocked off.
Sorry?
What? And finally, former champion James Forrester Gray's foosball is the devil.
Oh no, he's not a former champion. No.
Soon to be champion James Forrester.
There we go. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that instead.
No.
No.
Going up against Robert Rafton's Yorkshire Knights. Some freaking fantastic scores.
Rob has a legitimate beef here because I believe he scored the second highest points of the week.
Yeah.
So if he'd played anybody else, he'd have won. He was in that unfortunate situation where he was playing against the one guy that could have beaten him.
So James Forrester Gray takes the 143 point win against 123 points. I mean,
hefty scoring. Hefty.
We could do looking at people's benches and stuff, but
no, we don't need to go that.
Yeah,
we don't need to go there.
Did you leave points on your bench, Paul?
It's a week in the NFL. Of course, I left fantasy points on the bench.
Holy shit balls! Yeah, let's not look at that. Right, let's go around the room and talk about how we each simultaneously won and lost our games. So obviously for me, I won by pure fluke. I can't even tell you how I have taken a win against the former champion Tim Lacey. I left a smattering of points on the bench. I would have only gained 5 more points from putting Dak in instead of Carson. Mr. Brady, on the other hand, he could have played Trubisky for his 26 points, but again, there was only 5 points in it. So it's just a clean win for me. I had a lot of buys this week, and
I'm in that problem. I've got that problem next week.
Paul, Colin, let's talk.
Well, I suppose I've got to let the victor have the floor here, don't I?
Come on, Cole, tell us how you keep doing it.
Well, man, my homies again sorted me out with the double up with Tyreek Hill, and my homies can't beat him. Mr. Hill last week, I think he only scored 5 points. It's up to 10 anyway, so that was panicking. By Monday morning, I think I really would have.
Basically, you were already in the lead before the last of the games on Monday night. Yes, that is correct.
I might have been informed by somebody in this room that I wouldn't say with great glee that you'd already lost.
Wow.
I'm not.
That's so weird. My name's not even Matthew 2T's Hurley.
Well,
why are people rejoicing when I get beaten?
It's like the 10 to 7 Monday morning rundown of
what's
happening.
Yeah, well, I'm still trying to gain consciousness. I'm going, hey, guess what? And I'm like, horse again. But yeah, as Colin says, Tyreek Hill, 32 points. I mean, Cole, do you fancy a try? Paul?
I was struggling really, I think the rest of my bench was a bit on the weak side.
So look, yeah, you left not a lot of points on the bench. Paul, do you want to talk about how you can consistently keep this up? How are you going to go 2017 Cleveland Browns? How are you going to manage it?
I don't know what's happening, to be honest. I think I have the problem where I play Emmanuel Sanders the weeks that he does nothing, and I keep consistently benching him the weeks that he goes off and scores touchdowns, gets 100 yards.
7 receptions, 115 yards, and a touchdown.
So that wasn't handy. I decided not to play Russell Wilson because I didn't fancy didn't play anyone that comes to London. That always seems to be a bit of a way to go.
You'd have got 84 and Sanders. Yeah, you'd have won if you played them 2 players. Let's move on, shall we? Cole, can we just have a real quick conversation about the fact that you are one of the 5-1 club?
Well, as I said, it was I wanted a redraft at the start of the season because that messed up big time.
I'm pretty sure when I see you on a Monday morning, I generally start our conversation with, still after that redraft, Cole.
draft.
There he is.
I must say though, Patrick Mahomes was my one trump card that I wanted. I got him at the right time. I didn't want McCaffrey so early. That was the other one, and I think Watson was the other duff pick.
So who did you right? So back at the draft, who did you actually queue? Were those the three that you queued up?
No, I queued up McCaffrey and Watson.
Right.
By accident. I was going through the list.
Yeah.
But then I realised I wanted Mahomes as the key one after that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough then. And the rest is history. You got Tyreek Hill, you swine.
Cole, being a member of the 5-1 club, do you feel the pressure?
It's like that. What's to say? What's the phrase?
It's like
you're thinking, well, I've got a good team. Do I change it too much? Who do I bend? Do I change it out? So yeah, there's a bit of pressure, thinking what to do next. Can I trade?
Can I make a suggestion, Cole?
Go on.
Drop Tyreek Hill and pick up this guy off the waivers called Calvin Johnson.
Hey! Did you wish him happy birthday? For those who don't know, and Benji, because I'm not sure Benji knows the story. Obviously not this season, but last season, Cole went into the draft. He was doing really well so far through the draft.
6th round.
Yeah, 6th round in the draft. It pops up on everybody's screen. Colin Wright has drafted Calvin Johnson. And everybody simultaneously went, what?
What are you doing, Cole?
What are you doing, Cole? Because Cole's like, yeah, got me,
Cole
fucking Megatron.
Cole sat there smug.
Obviously, Megatron had retired at this point in time.
Yeah, there was a slight mistake there.
And, arses fell out all over the world.
How can he be on the list if he's retired?
Apparently, if you search, you can find any player that's ever played in the NFL. I'm still waiting to play. Peyton Manning's going to play any time this week.
Well, you can still technically get Jason Witten in the game. You can still technically get Johnny Manziel, who I don't think's played in the NFL for 3 seasons.
What about John Madden?
No, I don't think it's quite that far back.
Cole, do you think
Kaepernick's still available?
Colin Kaepernick is still available.
Should I drop Dan Marino at this point? Because he keeps getting me 0 points.
I was just thinking, I'm probably going to. I might sign Kaepernick. I'll be better off, I think.
I might pick up this new guy, Elway, is it? Right, Cole, we'll come back to you, mate. So, Lianne, Benji, let's talk.
Are you talking to Lianne, or are you talking to the only female member of the
only
league?
female member of the league and stats mistress. I might not be able to say that word. Right. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about Saquon Barkley. I mean, Jesus Christ! Has anybody? I had to show somebody at work today a picture of Saquon Barkley's thighs.
Big boy.
He's just a beast. I watched one of the only games I've actually watched this week because I was busy. Was Saquon Barkley. It's like every other call.
38-inch thigh.
Yeah, the man's a monster. So no surprises with his 28 points and Matt Ryan's 27 points.
And the Seahawks defense made a good show.
I wish I could have been there. And I'm not trying to rub this in, Benji, but Lianne also left quite a lot of points on the bench as well. But looking at Benji's team, 16 points with Kirk Cousins,
Respectable.
Funches, and Hooper. Latavius Murray. So where's all the points drop out? Because there's a lot of points.
You're a bit unlucky there, Ben, as well, because I've just seen you've got Deshaun Jackson there, and I don't know if you saw the end of that game, but he pretty much dropped a pretty sure touchdown there.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually doing all right, and I was before the Jags game started, I was projected. I think actually we were pretty equal for a while, and then my points dropped when Jacksonville shit the bed and got absolutely fucking turned over. So I got -1 point on the Jacksonville defense. I mean, yeah, it was doing all right. Kirk Cousins performed. He's pretty consistent.
He is, to be fair.
Definitely averaging about sort of 14 to 17 points most weeks. Latavius Murray, 21 points. That's fantastic. Marshawn Lynch did nothing because Raiders got turned over again as well.
They almost got completely shut out.
They're poor. Funches, again, he's pretty consistent. The trouble is, I had a shit draft. It started with a really, really crap draft. That's, my fault, I guess. But it was pretty poor. The thing is, I made notes and everything this year, which I never do, generally speaking. I kind of just go for whatever looks good. And all of the players, all of the team that I had in my head, it couldn't be further from that. It could not be further from that. Every time I was eyeing up a player, they got picked up because I was 8th waiver, I think. So that's just the way it is.
Can be a bit of a minefield.
Where's the problem? Is it a 14-man league? 12-man league. So by the time you get a second go, it's like 23.
He's scraping the barrel.
He's 14 man.
Oh, big time.
Like especially when you're drafting, it feels like 14 man. Especially when you're sitting there going, Toots, just pick the fucking player that we all know you're going to take. Pick the fucking player! So yeah, it certainly feels like a 14-man league.
Oh God, he's going to listen to it again this week, and he's just going to be like, "Why do you keep picking on me?"
Oh, I'm sorry. The man who said, "Oh, I'm really looking forward to listening to the Beavis and Butthead podcast." Have you know, number one NFL podcast in Yorkshire right now, boys and girls.
So I hear.
I think this was my best week, though, ironically. So it's all downhill from here. If that was my best week, I'm getting turned over anyway. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be doing anything special this season, but we'll see. You never know.
Yeah, stranger things have happened.
I love an underdog.
Absolutely.
Who doesn't love an underdog?
Don't we all?
We've all got that little bit of hope in our hearts that each week the Cleveland Browns walk on the field that they're going to take a win. Even if you're just like, oh, just a little one. And to be fair, they've had a couple.
Got the fabulous Baker boy tossing touchdowns all the way. There's plenty of scope there. Yeah,
that's easy to say.
Yeah. I didn't stumble over that one at all. I didn't mispronunciate some of my words at all. You let that one go?
So, let's.
Hey? We're not live.
You're live.
You're live.
You're going out to the whole world.
You're literally live streaming as we speak. Just to this room.
So let's talk some leaderboard standings, whatever the fuck you want to do.
It's got to go to the statistician, surely.
Go on.
Statistician breakdown.
Start from the top.
From the top.
Is he still at the top?
Of course he is.
But he lost.
But we've got joint 4 people.
Is there a 4-way tie at the top?
Yeah.
And I'd like to talk about the newest member of the 5-1 Club. He's my pick. He's the dark horse that's going to bring it home for us. I'm just going to start giving him players when he plays certain people.
Wow.
So at 5-1, we've got Kaepernick's Nike.
Boo!
Obi-Wan Mahomes.
Hey!
Quinn Corp.
Way.
And Feeling Good.
Hey.
Thomas Quinn, absolute legend.
No, I told you. I said it last week. If you've got Todd Gurley in your roster,
you're pretty
much going to win the fantasy league.
Yay! So that takes us to 5th. We've got Foosball is the Devil, 4-2.
Well done, James.
6th place, Crimea Phil Rivers, 3-3. Oh, that's a joint way again.
A clutch of players on 3 and 3?
3 players there. So, Crimea Phil Rivers, myself, Come On Saquon, and the Cookie.
Thank you.
Moving down the list, in joint 9th position, we've got 3 teams. Yorkshire Knights, Squirrel Killers, and Oxford Heathens.
And the London Games! Excellent. And we move on to the next point in the podcast. I think we've covered
just before we end this segment.
No, we must have covered all the teams.
In 12th place, taking on their own record for
shittest season ever.
0-6, hide and seek.
Thank you.
If you listen carefully, you can hear the hopes and dreams of all the players on my roster just breaking.
If you can get to the end of season and be
0-13,
you will get a special prize.
So
you're gonna have to have something.
Here's the thing, though. I'll bet you any money if I go 0-13,
we'll all give you a tenner.
I'll still end up beating the 2 teams that I play in the playoffs, and I'll end up finishing like 7th in the league or something like that. It'll be ridiculous.
You see,
it won't make any sense.
At this point in time, are you not a little bit like, I don't want to win anymore?
What?
No, aren't you just a little bit like,
no?
If you get a win,
surprisingly enough, I hope I can go 7-6.
If you get a win next week, aren't you going to be like, oh, but I kind of thought I was going to go all the way.
It's not like I'm playing for draft picks. So.
In your defence, you do not have the least number of points on the league.
Correct. And I think
I
think I've conceded the most as well. So I've conceded the most.
Yes.
Who's got the least points? Is it me?
Oxford Heathens, I'm afraid.
Oh, Benji. Oh, Ben, come on.
It's all a strategy, man.
So we're hearing. A lot of people in the room would agree with you there, Ben.
Do you want my back?
So
next week's matchups, I believe, potentially.
Well, let's just slow our roll real fast. Let's just slow our roll because we still need to talk about something that happened in week 6.
Okay. Yes.
And that something was the first of the 2018 London Games.
I meant next week's fantasy matchups.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
Okay.
We're still talking about this week. So, the first of the NFL London Games was
Pete Carroll's Seattle Seahawks.
Russell Wilson's. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's. Although I suppose the Cowboys, it's Jared Jones here.
Jared Jones.
Versus Mr. Colin Wright's favourite team, the Los Angeles Raiders.
Show your pride for the Oakland Raiders.
Look at it. Look at it.
Are you squeezing your breast? Excellent work, Colin.
The first of the 2018 London Games.
On paper, potentially quite a decent matchup.
Well, they were saying that this was the first time that Marshawn Lynch was going to go up against his former team, the Seattle Seahawks, since he retired in 2015, it seemed to say. So then he had a season out, and then he came back. But this is the first time he's gone up against the Seahawks. My point was, he might be going up against the Seahawks, but he's not going up against the team he used to play for, because it's a completely different
team. There's been a lot of turnover.
But there was a lot of
any players that he played with.
Tyler Lockett and
Wilson.
Or maybe
Russell Wilson, Baldwin,
and Baldwin. And that's
there's a couple of players off in the defence, but you'd have to say that at least sort of 80% of the defence has changed.
Yeah. The other thing was, one of the things that was a short version is I went to the Seahawks Raiders game. So one of the things that I thought was actually quite nice to see was that when Lynch would rush and end up on the ground, it wasn't just the Raiders players that were helping him up. The Seahawks players helped him up as well. So I thought it was kind of nice. Me and Robert Rafton of the Yorkshire Knights drove to Wembley. got there, went and had something to eat, went to the game, went to the tailgating, which, by the way, NFL, sort your shit out. Very, very badly organised.
It's not to do with the NFL.
Not a tailgate. There are a distinct lack of tailgates.
I think it's
that tailgate party,
I think it's because Wembley are not allowed to do it. They haven't got the license in the grounds to have some of the things that they do at a standard American tailgate party.
Yeah,
so they're not allowed to. I don't think people are allowed to take barbecues and stuff.
No,
you're not allowed to have an open alcohol consumer.
No, but they
it's
had
just a giant merch stand.
Basically. Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, which was so poorly organised. They closed the queue for the NFL shop, the NFL.com shop, nearly 3 hours before it closed.
Jesus Christ.
Because the queue was that long, and there was that many people, and it was going to take them 2.5 hours to get through the queue.
Jeez. When I went last year, the card thing had broken, so they couldn't take any card payments.
Oh,
the only person
wow.
that managed to get served, because I had about a $5 on me, and I bought my kid a Jacksonville Jaguars American football, and I got booed as I walked out because I was the only one I was the only person that got served because I was the only player that had a $5 on him.
Wow.
I was the only guy that had any cash. It was awful.
Jesus.
But there is a company, I can't remember what they're called now, that hosts just around the corner from Wembley a proper tailgate party. It's about 60 quid a head, or maybe less than that, 50 to 60 quid a head. All you can eat, all you can drink. They have the red zone on all day as well, so you don't even have to go to the game.
Lucky.
Why am I only hearing that? Why are you only telling me this now?
I didn't know you didn't know. I mean, I'll send you guys all the details.
So, unfortunately for you, Benji, this is going to be a little bit of a dull moment in the call stroke podcast. But I'm very quickly going to go through some of the shit, some might say, that I brought back with me. What I will say is, a lot of the stuff that I brought back, or a couple of the items I brought back, was solely for the purpose of the podcast.
Nice.
Cole, you might get a
free
flash.
flags. Yeah,
so here we go. Yeah. So when we sat down on the seat, and I didn't even unwrap it, look at this. When we sat down on the seat, free flag. Unfortunately, for everyone apart from Colin, they considered that the London game was the Raiders' home game. So,
well, bear in mind that is how it works. So how it works is they take each of the teams that's designated as the home team has to give up one of their home games to come over
for the
here.
London one. So that there.
It's a substantial
that
size.
There.
Unless you're Jags, in which case it's always the home game because they're like the adopted. Although what's his name owns Wembley now.
Yeah. Has the actual deal gone through now then?
It's pending.
Yeah. So I knew he'd put the offer in, but I didn't know whether it had been accepted or the deal had been agreed or not.
It's been accepted. It's just, I don't know.
They're trying to thrash out the
paperwork.
Logistics of the deal, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But everyone's saying they don't know whether it's a case of he's going to move the team here.
I think they do that just to keep the British people interested.
Yeah, potentially.
I think it's just
they've been talking about that for years, haven't they?
Yeah, they've said it for a while, haven't they?
So just for today's purposes, we will be Raiders Nation for today and today only. My esteemed colleague, Mr. Paul Williams, if you'd like to pass the bag.
Where's Colin gone?
No, Cole. Cole's gone. Cole. He's dialed off, hasn't
he? It looks as though he has lost connection.
Screen has gone dark.
So, of the two teams that were playing, I had more of an affinity with the Seattle Seahawks. So, I bought a Seattle Seahawks mini American football helmet. Excuse me, I'm full of cold. Which I feel should probably sit on our table. There you go, Benji. You're now next to the Seattle. He's back.
Nice.
How do I turn the screen back on again?
It's still recording.
No, but how do I sort of see if the screen...
Just press the OK button to bring the screen back on.
Cole, you back?
Cole, where did you go?
I can hear you talking about me, but my
About you?
Oh, God, were we slagging you off again?
Oh, you should...
You said I got, but I was still listening.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, I see how it is.
Also, when we did start slagging you off, it was a bit awkward.
Trying to get all the stats, were you? I get it. So I picked up this guy, which is a mini NFL football, but it's a proper Wilson one, but it's done for the London games.
I see.
So it's got the Seahawks versus the Raiders, the Jags versus the Eagles, and the Titans versus the Chargers. Don't want to point out the fact that they're in the wrong order, but hey.
That's the wrong order.
So I also think that can sit on our table. And
This fantasy league.
Say again, Cole?
Is that for the winner of the fantasy league then? That trophy.
I'm not saying that that's not going to happen.
They could win a bag.
And finally, the one item that when I saw it I went, does that say it's 50 quid? Because if it's 50 quid, I'm not sure I'm going to buy it. But it wasn't 50 quid, it was a lot cheaper.
Jesus Christ, I was going to say.
And when we got closer to it and I could see it and I went, if that's £25, it is coming home with me. It was the last one, and I've already told him that he gets to wear it for the rest of the podcast.
Good luck to your neck.
Yeah. Lianne tried this on and went, where's the fucking ton? That's right, it's a Seattle Seahawks Seahawk head, foam head.
Nice.
There you go. And you, Paul Williams, get to wear that for the rest of the podcast.
It'll probably sit on your glasses as well and push down on your nose. Oh, it doesn't.
There we go.
Hello.
Have to wear that tomorrow.
Yeah, Benji, probably.
Yeah. I can just see me just strolling round the office.
Strutting into. Benji, this is one of those things where you might just want to wait until Thursday, download the podcast, or watch it on YouTube and go, oh, that's what the hell they were talking about.
I'll have
During that really boring bit.
It sounds like a bargain.
Well, I budgeted a certain amount and came away with change from my merchandise spend. To me, you can't
change from London.
Yeah, no, you can't go all that way and not buy something. And I was like, well, I'm going to spend this much. Didn't spend what it's one of those. I wasn't going there to buy jerseys because the jerseys were more expensive than they should be and stuff like that. So I was like, that's silly talk. So I got other stuff. Right then.
Very nice.
Excellent work, Mr. Cook. I must admit, I am quite taken with the miniature helmet. I do quite like it.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Because it's shiny.
Did you say you like his helmet?
Cole, did you see it?
Why have you got to lower the tone?
I said to Lianne yesterday, I was like, oh man, look, because it's like, it's just a tiny replica. I was like, oh man, if it was only bigger, I could wear it. I mean, if only we had like small people that could wear it.
Oh my God.
That's right. Need another one of these, and then it's cat football in the cookhouse.
Oh my God.
Can't fucking wait for that.
Can you imagine that?
Lianne actually went to go on today, but they were closed. So, let's talk week 7. Let's talk some fantasy lineup. No, let's not. Let's talk some stats. Benji, Colin, did you bring your stats for the week?
Please,
yeah.
I forgot to do my homework.
Yes.
Excellent, well done, Cole.
What's Cole saying?
Please, sir, sorry, sir, I forgot to do my homework, sir.
Get out. Right, well, luckily for Colin, let's say, our stats mistress has, delivered.
Yet again.
Is not the word. Can I just say, and I'm not going to keep going on about the fact that I went to the game, but...
Sounds like you are.
Amari Cooper
got knocked the fuck out. Seeing it live,
it's proper terrifying. Like, he got hit and it was like... I was the second back to last row in Wembley. There was 85,000 people there, so imagine how far back I was. And I felt it. I was like... And I was showing it to somebody at work today going, watch this. And it looks like it's been hit by a train. For 6 minutes, he didn't move.
I saw the Colts and the Jags at Wembley a couple of years ago. Andrew Luck obviously took a hit because that's what he does. Took a hit, and I was in the nosebleeds, and I'm pretty sure I heard it.
Oof. Yeah,
it was mad.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
took him right
like I
out.
say, when you see it on TV, you get like when I showed it to somebody today, they show you like 12 angles of that person getting hit, and it looks worse from certain angles and stuff. But when you're actually there, seeing it live, it's like, oh god, that it stops being entertainment, and it's more like, that's horrible. Right, shall we take?
You getting hit when you play it is nothing more scary as well. It's terrifying.
Yeah. Right, let's do some stats. Should we take it in turns or something?
I am like Cole, I have no stats.
Benji, you got some stats?
Not really, other than I can predict
But I'll lose again this
it's going
week?
to be very similar to this week.
Oh, boys, come on now. Let's be serious. Right, let's talk some stats. Do you want to do the stats, seeing as you collated them?
No, you go.
Okay. Stat number 1. Titans quarterback Marcus Mariota suffered more sacks, 11, than he had completions, 10, at the hands of the Ravens defence.
What the fuck?
Yes.
How did I not know that? That's insane. I saw the Ravens got 11 sacks on him. I did not realise he only had 10 completions in the game. Jesus Christ. That defence is good though.
Yeah,
the Ravens
Ravens
is stout. It's a good defence.
Yeah, it's good.
Got some Cousins stats if you want.
Ooh. Go on then.
Kirk Cousins hasn't completed fewer than 70.6% of his passes since week 1. So that's a pretty good
That is not
average.
That is not an hour. Here you go, Cole. One for you. Out of 31 pass attempts, quarterback Derek Carr for the Raiders only had 2 passes travelling more than 10 yards downfield.
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
That's not very good, is it?
Bloody hell.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson, quarterback for the Texans. That's another one for you, Cole. Fumbled 3 times and was sacked 7 times. Despite that, the Texans made a narrow victory over the Bills.
Nice.
Colin, Patrick Mahomes, quarterbacks for the Chiefs, has thrown for 300 plus yards for 5 games in a row.
My homie.
My homie.
Oh dear. He looks the real deal.
He really
He
does.
certainly does.
Jets kicker Jason Myers scored 7 field goals in a win over the Colts. In a season where kickers have been bad, Myers delivers the Jets a victory and scores 24 points, the most for any player in one game without scoring a touchdown. I think it was around this point when I was reading the stats today going, these are some good stats. This is good stats.
These are not my stats.
You've collected
I
these
have
stats.
Collated
Found
these
this
stats.
information, yes.
One for Thomas Quinn. Aaron Rodgers for the Packers is currently the quarterback passing leader for week 6 with 425 yards, 25 of 46 completions. He did get sacked 3 times though.
Yeah, but I always think with sacks, it's not on the quarterback, it's on the offensive line.
Yeah, you know.
So
One for me and Tom. Todd Gurley for the Rams set a career high with 208 yards rushing versus the Broncos over 28 carries and 2 touchdowns. He scored in every game this season after rushing or receiving.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he has at least 1 touchdown in every game this season.
Albert Winston, Dolphins, week 6 receiving leader at 155 yards over 6 receptions for 2 touchdowns. The Patriots and the Dolphins. This is almost exactly the same stat as last week. The Patriots and the Dolphins are still vying at the top of their division, both 4-2.
The Jets are only 1 back on them now. I think the Jets have gone to 3-3.
The Jets are playing really well.
I mean, that's... I wouldn't
necessarily
agree with that. They've picked up a little in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks they've been playing.
They had some
really
bad
well.
performances before that, but yeah, Dan looks like he's getting to grips with that sort of team. So.
Okay.
The Chiefs sadly lost on Sunday to the Patriots, dropping their perfect record now to 5-1.
Is that coming from the hat?
I hope so. The Rams, however, maintain their winning streak, beating the Broncos this week, and now the only team not to have lost this year, 6-0. I'm saying it. I've been saying it. You know, Rams almost definitely going to go to the Super Bowl this year.
I put money on them being in the Super Bowl this year.
It's going to take a very, very good team to beat them.
The 49ers, Colts, Giants, Cardinals, and the Raiders all at the bottom of their divisions on 1-5. For the 6th consecutive week, games have gone into overtime. There have been 9 games to go to overtime now in the first 6 weeks. The most overtime games since 1991. Whoa indeed, Colin, you are correct. So, buys for this week. Buys for week 7 are the Packers, the Raiders, the Seahawks, and the Steelers.
Damn it.
There is your week 6 stats as collated by the stat mistress and only female member of the league, Miss Lianne Davies.
Excellent work, Lianne.
No problem.
Right then, boys and girls, let's talk.
Turkey.
Week 7, football! Maybe if we were in the right league, that would help.
Who am I getting beat by this week?
Everybody.
Oh my god, I'm playing Tom. I've got no chance. He's got Todd Gurley, for fuck's sake.
Oh, I can't ever remember how to do it.
Scoreboard.
Podium,
7.
Scoreboard.
Scores.
There we go. I was in it, and then I got a thing, and then a thing happened. So week 7, I will be going up. I will be losing against James Forrester Gray's Foosball is the Devil. Early projections suggest that is not the case, but they're early projections, and he's still got a player to set. Oh,
don't worry, we discussed it at work today.
Oh, wow. My co-host, Mr. Paul Williams, is Hide and Zeke, is going up against the newest member of the 5-1 club, Quinn Corp, being led by the masterful Thomas Quinn. Early projection says that Paul needs to set a fucking lineup.
You got a lot of people on a bike.
I've got a lot of people. Well, I've got Russell Wilson and Doug Baldwin and Jared Cook and yeah, I've got lots of people on buys.
And you won't be putting the Steelers defence in.
I will not be playing the Steelers defence, sadly, no.
Crimea Phil Rivers, Mr. Philip Walls, is going up against our very own Colin Wright, Obi-Wan Mahomes.
No comments on the name, by the way. Where's the love with the name?
Hey! You best get checking out the freaking podcast, boy. You've already had your props for that name. Listen to the freaking podcast. But yeah, I was going to say, seeing as you're here, you could have some severe props for such a good team name. Early projections, both lineups set at this point in time. Cole? Yeah, you might want to address that. Holy shit balls, Benji. I feel for you, man. The Oxford Heathens, being led by their master, Benji Keep, goes up against everybody's favourite team, Kaepernick's Nike, Matthew 2 Teams Hurley.
This is going to be the turnaround week for me.
I can only hope so.
Do you want some players?
He might be going on a losing streak now. I saw him this morning at work and he was very quiet about his...
Of course he was.
loss. Yeah.
Of course he was.
He's doing that thing where he hasn't set his full lineup and all that bullshit, but projections say he's going to...
9 games.
9 games!
That's all he does. But projections would say, Benji, that you're on for a win. The 5-1 Matthew Moore's Feeling Good is going up against the 1-5 Robert Rafton's Yorkshire Knights. Early reports say another win for Matthew Moore on that one. And the Squirrel Killers, led by Tim Lacey, goes up against our very own Come On Sack One, the only female member of the league, Stats Mistress, and podcast extraordinaire, Miss Lianne Davies. Early reports say that very close. Lianne needs to set a full lineup.
I need a defence team.
Don't the Steelers?
Oh,
I'll take LaShawn McCoy off you.
Here we go. So that's the fantasy lineup. Cole, give us some hints and tips for how you're playing out. How are you going to play it this week?
I'm struggling because I think Phil the Rivers has got Flash Gordon playing for him. So
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he has.
I'm going to be struggling, I think.
Well, in fact, he's got a bit of a Gordon duo. Because he's got Melvin Gordon at running back, and he's got Josh Gordon that he can play as a wide receiver. So you could be Gordoned to death.
Gordon's alive!
Yeah, he had some big scores this past week, so I think, struggling. But I think I'm safe for the playoffs, I would imagine. They're in there.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I'd say is potentially going in your favour is that the London game this week is Titans-Chargers, is it not?
It is.
So he's got at least two guys that are playing in unfamiliar surroundings in Rivers and Melvin Gordon. So potentially they're not going to be, some players are not used to playing on turf.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and you've also got to add to the fact that there's the travelling aspect, there's being in a foreign country, the mixture of they want to get out there and enjoy being in London and stuff like that, but they're not allowed to for too long and stuff. I remember last year's England games, they got into the players got into loads of trouble because they just kept staying out all night and drinking and stuff. We're getting into loads of shit.
Unless you're the Jags, it's like a massive change. Jags are used to it now because they've been doing it for a while. But
but even for the Jags, for the first couple of weeks, I know it was because the team was pretty terrible, but the first couple of seasons when they kept coming over, they just lost every time, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they've now
they haven't lost in London for 4 years.
Something like that, yeah.
4 or 5 years.
But
I think they could be about to change that.
Well, potentially. I mean, to be fair, I'd still fancy him to beat the Eagles. To be fair, the Eagles aren't the team that won the Super Bowl last season, are they? So.
I think judging on last week's performance, I wouldn't put Jags against anyone. But
no, true.
The thing is, Blake Bortles is crap one week and then amazing the next week.
Yeah, literally.
The defensive line should be incredible, but they just got walked. I don't understand.
Anyway, they're a bit of an enigma at the moment, the Jags. I at the beginning of the season said that I believed they would be at the Super Bowl this year, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure I agree.
They need a quarterback. They need a consistently good quarterback.
Yeah,
and that was sorted out, I think.
Actually, speaking of the Jags, I'll ask a question. Maybe the wrong point to the podcast. This weird trade that's all going through. Fournette for 2 players. What's going on there?
Is this in our league?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah?
Has it been accepted?
It's gone through.
So it was last week, wasn't it?
Mike Davis and Kenyon Drake.
So that's James? Who's James traded with then? Is it you, Ben?
Well, Kenyon Drake, it was me. Yeah.
Oh, so you've popped a little trade off, have you?
Yeah.
For 2 players.
Interesting.
Backdoor trade action.
Snaffled yourself a little Leonard Fournette, have you?
Isn't he out?
He is at the moment.
What is it they say the secret to good comedy is? Sandwiches. Brilliant. Sandwiches, yeah. So speaking of dirty under the table dealings with trades, Benji, what have you got planned for this week's lineup?
I'm literally, I'm at the peak. I'm at my peak. I can't go any further.
You've hit your stride.
I've hit my stride, which could be good, could be bad. So yeah, Kirk Cousins, QB. I've got Bilal Powell, Kenyon Drake, Funches. Oh man, it's not good actually. To be honest, looking at this, Deshaun Jackson, Austin Hooper of the Atlanta Falcons fame, Allen Robinson, former Jags and Jags defense, and then Lambeau, the kicker, Mr. Josh. It doesn't really matter because kickers aren't doing anything this season. But the thing is, I've got Danny Amendola as well. He's a cracking player, but again, doesn't seem to be doing anything with the Dolphins.
Yeah, he really doesn't.
I might swap him in. We'll see.
I think the problem for Amendola was the fact that he didn't have his regular quarterback thrown to him last week.
Yeah, exactly.
But saying that, Osweiler looked like an absolute world beater against... who the hell did they play on Sunday?
He's another one though, isn't he? He can...
Bears.
On his day, he can beat anyone.
Yeah.
He's top 5 quarterbacks on his day, but...
The worst thing he did was allowing himself to be traded to the Texans the season after the Broncos won the Super Bowl. Because if he'd have stayed, he'd still be their quarterback now.
Yeah.
I know he left and then went back and he wasn't very good, but if he'd have stayed, he was already sort of used to their offense. He knew all the players that were around him, and then he left and he did absolutely terribly at the Texans. So
sometimes though, I think the players are pushed, and it's
yeah, potentially.
There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on behind the scenes in NFL. There's no other sport like it in that sense. I think it's really.
I mean, you look at the Bell stuff. You know, what exactly is going on with all that?
What the hell's going on there? Why would you allow that kind of shit to happen when you've got a player like Bell?
Yeah.
As well, like you want him to play.
Yeah.
Surely, but the Pats did it as well. Look at the Super Bowl situation. The Pats. What the fuck was that all about?
Yeah. Was it Malcolm Butler?
Yeah.
Malcolm Butler just sat there watching his team get walked over.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I think you're right. There's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. At the end of the day, the NFL is a corporation, and with any big corporation, there's always politics involved. So whether you want this person to win or that person to win, or that team's great or this team's great, there will always be other elements. I had a lot of issues with the Broncos Panthers Super Bowl. I felt there was a lot more going on there than the two teams on the field, because the Panthers season to then walk onto that field and go, oh, how do you play football again? Who gets this? What's this? The ball thing. What's this again? Well, who does this go to? There was a lot more going on there than just two teams playing a game.
That was Manning's last.
That is part of what I think that was about.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, give him his last ring and send him on his way. I think was a lot to do with that one. So let's get some picks. Let's start talking Week 7 football. I sound like you this week. I'm full of cold.
You're welcome.
No, this one goes all over to Harriet for this one. Oh, enjoy getting a cold when you go to London. Yeah, well, screw you, Harriet. I got it before I went to London.
Not that he's bitter or anything.
I'm not bitter. I'm twisted. So let's see who we think is going to win this. Paul did point out last week that we should have probably been keeping a track of who we thought was going to win each game, so that we could check back and see. However, we've left that a little late, so we'll just somebody will have to go back and watch all the podcasts and see who got the highest score on picks. Cole, you know, while you're watching back through those podcasts, let us know who's winning. Good lad. Right, okay, let's get some picks here. Game 1, Week 7. Cardinals versus the Broncos.
Snooze fest!
Okay.
That is going to be the dullest game of the week, and it's on Thursday night. As if they've put that in prime time.
Yeah, Thursday night football, prime time football, ridiculous. Cardinals, Broncos. I mean, do we care? I mean, I'm you know, at the core, I'm probably, you know, a third Broncos.
So I don't think I've got a single. Oh no, I've got Emmanuel Sanders. I was going to say I don't think I've got a single player that's involved in that game. So I have very little interest, but I do have Emmanuel Sanders. So.
Is Keenum starting for the Broncos?
Yeah, he's still starting.
Is he?
Although apparently at the end of the second quarter, they brought in the backup. Is it Chad Kelly? I think his name is. They brought the backup in to kneel out the dams, and apparently, the crowd was cheering. So it was like, whoa!
Okay, I've always felt sorry for Case Keenum. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
He did an absolutely bang-up job for the Vikings last
season. He did, but
some of those plays were amazing.
I don't know if that was the team that was around him more than him, because he does look a little bit lost at the Broncos.
He takes crazy risks. Usually they
He's not taking as many risks as Bethard at the 49ers. Apparently, he's like I don't know. I might have made this up, but I'm sure he's the most hit of any quarterback in the league at the minute. Bethard.
Yeah, I think I saw something about that.
He stays in the pocket way too late, and he'll leave the release until the very last second, and he's always getting hit.
Wow, why not? Because there's no way at the beginning of the season that he thought he was even going to get a look at.
Yeah, that's
Jimmy
true.
G, based on the last. I mean, I picked him as my first quarterback based on the last few games, and then he got
I think, to be fair, I think
it was out for the season.
I think there was a lot of people who were taking the same stance as you, Ben. To be fair.
Yeah. Oh well.
So let's go around the room. Cardinals, Broncos. Lianne Davies, go.
I'm going to say Cardinals because they need to make a win or a second win at some point.
It's a Broncos win for me. I feel I'd often have to go that way just cause. Paul Williams?
To say they were playing the Rams, they didn't actually look terrible against the Rams, I don't think. So, yeah. I reckon it'll be a close game. Yeah. I don't know, Cardinals are at home. I'll go the Cardinals.
Colin?
I think it's my man Lindsay at the Broncos going to open up some wood pass.
Another can? There's a second can on the go.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Second can in play.
So that's 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Fen?
Broncos for me.
Good lad, Ben. Good lad. Right, so our next game is the second London game of the season at 2:30 on Sunday. The Chargers take on the Titans. Let's go the other way around. Benji, Chargers, Titans, go.
Chargers over the Titans, I reckon.
Okay.
By any chance, do you listen to the Around the NFL podcast, Ben?
I do actually, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe that was where you got the Titans thing from.
Colin,
Yeah.
Chargers, Titans.
I'm hoping for Titans because I need Flash Gordon to hit the bed. So
I love that's what he's basing his pick on, the fact that he hopes they get beat.
Paul Williams.
well, Phil's got two of them good players, so I need to put
true.
on the right team. Titans.
So, interesting stat. I potentially may be at this game.
What?
Nice.
I'm in the process of one of my friends has inquired about tickets, and I'm waiting to hear back. But I potentially won't know if I'm going until Saturday.
I don't think that counts as a stat until.
That's not a stat. That's just a
factual.
tidbit.
Okay, stat. There may be a York-based person in the crowd at that game. Better?
I inquired to see if I could get press pass
Press pass.
for it,
Wow.
but decided it it probably wasn't a good idea if that this guy got vetted by the FBI. So I gave that one a miss.
How'd it?
But Chargers Titans.
For me, that's the best of the 3 games that are in London this season.
It's going to be a good game.
Should be a good game. Should be a tight game. Should be a close game. I like both the quarterbacks. There's something about the Chargers defense that I just don't like. So I'm going to go for the Titans.
Chargers.
You just don't like them for no reason.
I don't know. They're just like without Bosa, they just look like they're missing something on defense. But that's just my personal opinion. And I think the Titans have got a good enough quarterback with good enough receivers to exploit some of the weaknesses I think they've got.
I think the Chargers are going to be the surprise team this year.
I'm saying Chargers as well.
Well, I've said it at times before on this podcast. Apparently, there's people that have picked an all LA Super Bowl for this season.
Yeah.
Chargers.
We have this conversation every week, and I still can't see it. Our next game, Eagles Panthers, 6 o'clock on Sunday. Let's mix it up, Lianne Davies.
I'll go Eagles.
I'm also going Eagles on that one. Paul Williams.
I think Panthers are all skewy.
Yeah, they're a bit skewy.
Eagles at home.
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna.
I shan't.
I'm gonna go. Panthers win, and do you know what? Just this is gonna make Col happy. I'm gonna go Christian McCaffrey over 150 yards rushing.
Oh, Col. Yeah. He's loving it. Benji, Eagles Panthers. Give us a win on this.
Much as I love Cam Newton's suits, I'm team Wentz. I think Eagles over the Panthers.
I saw a picture recently and I was like, look at Benji styling himself on Cam Newton there. it was sharp. That's all I can say. It was sharp. Cole, give us a win.
I'm going to go Panthers as well. Big cut.
What's
Chris.
that?
Christian McCaffrey. He's giving some sort of shark fin.
Baby shark.
Oh dear.
I don't know what's happening right now. I feel like I'm having a stroke or something.
Same with the kids, but...
So just to clarify, Cole, have you again picked your NFL theories based on your
fantasy picks?
Excellent, sensible.
I need this person to win or lose. So, oh, Colin. Right, let's talk Jets Vikings. Now this is tidy. That's
a good game.
Spinning it around again, Colin. Jets Vikings, go.
Vikings. I'm not too sure about either of these two teams. Actually, the Jets' defense is awful, so I'll have to go with Minnesota.
So it's a Vikings pick from you, Benji. Hit us.
Yeah, I hope Vikings do win because Kirk Cousins is my QB. So, but yeah, I fancy the Vikings over the Jets definitely.
Yeah,
same for me.
Donald's
looked good in the last couple of weeks, but yeah, I think the Vikings will be too strong for him. They've got the best receiver in the game at the minute in Thielen.
Yeah,
so I think he's gone all 5 games this season so far. He's gone over 100 yards.
Yeah.
And the sporting fan in me quite like to see the Jets win because they're a definite underdog.
Oh yeah, I get that. Yeah,
I'm going to say Jets.
Leon's picking the Jets. I am also going to pick the Jets because I think they're picking up a bit of steam, and I think the Vikings are a little topsy-turvy on this one, so I'm going Jets.
Can't stop the Thielen.
You can't stop the Thielen. Possible snooze fest coming up with the Colts versus the Bills.
Jesus Christ. That's another terrible, terrible game.
That's an awful game. Lianne Davies. Give a shit.
Not really. But Colts.
We should each week we should have a I don't give a shit score.
Yeah.
We should be able to offer up the I don't give a shit who wins in this matchup, because this one would probably be mine.
I don't give a shit who wins. We're all losers.
Yeah, we're all losers because we have to sit through this terrible football. Go on. Colts. Yeah, just let's get through this real quick.
I don't think either team's bringing it.
I'm saying the Colts because, it's not the Bills. Benji?
Yeah, I'm an Andrew Luck fan, so Colts. Yeah.
Good lad. Paul Williams?
Yeah, I reckon they've looked... The Colts they've looked better the last couple of weeks.
They've played well.
Andrew looks like he's the more games he plays, the more arm strength he's getting back.
He's getting it back in.
So, yeah, we'll let them have a win this week.
Colts, Bills.
What paper scissors, that's Colts, I think that is.
This is amazing, because obviously I'm only getting bits of it. So I'm just like, I'm looking at you, and all of a sudden at the corner of my eye I can just see something flashing across the screen. And it's Cole just waving his hands furiously across the screen.
Sign language.
We're going to have to go back and watch the footage of what's been going on.
It's going to be fantastic.
There'll be all sorts. It'll have been like, throwing out sign language for our deaf viewers. And, it's going to be beautiful. Let's talk Bears Patriots.
Oh dear.
Then
Patriots going to Chicago, so that's tough. That defense is good.
Colin, Bears, Patriots.
No, I'd have to say the Bears.
I'm with Cole on this one.
Is it Trubisky was
Mitchell Trubisky.
That's the one. Yeah. I think it's him all the way.
I'm with Cole on that one.
Get retired.
Unfortunately, in no actual reality would I ever say that any team, if it's versus the Patriots, it's like, oh, well, I wonder who's going to win that. Do you think it's going to be the Patriots? Yes, I do. Okay, so it's Patriots. So it's Patriots win from me. Lianne Davies, you already said Patriots. Benji, Bears, Patriots, go.
I'm going Bears. I would love it if the Bears turn.
Yeah, he is.
I think they
we'd
can.
We'd all love it, but
No, I think they can, though. I think they can. They can.
I think you're seriously underestimating how good the Bears' defense is.
the Bears are great at the moment.
Bears
But they're
D
playing
is
the
cracking.
Patriots.
And the thing is, like, it only takes for one slip up. Brady just...
Oh,
head
he
down.
doesn't
This season,
like
he's not
making a
winning.
mistake, does he? The man cannot take. He's a very poor loser. The moment things don't start going Brady's way, he's like, I'm in a bad mood.
He starts deflating football.
But did you see the score last week? Was it 40-43? They're giving him some points.
Yeah.
They're giving him some points.
There's been...
Did he get 5? Paul attack. Was it 5 touchdowns 2 weeks ago? Was it?
Now say that again. I missed the last bit of that.
Or was it 5 touchdowns, Mr. Trubisky, last week?
Yes.
No, that was the week before.
Well, so that's what I meant, yeah.
And was it
Was
6?
he on your bench that week as well?
No, Tim had him, didn't he? Tim's got him in our league. But because was it not the week he was playing you?
Actually, you're right there. I think it was.
And he didn't want to talk about the fact that Trubisky had thrown 6 touchdowns, and he was just not happy about it.
Yeah, it was off the
So
charts.
I think he's ready for a big game. If Dallas is dropping points like that.
Yeah, I'm Bears. I'm happy with the
These are the ones that we need to remember.
These are the ones. I was just thinking, oh man, if only we had a way of looking back and seeing.
If only this was recorded.
If only we were recording this conversation and could check
Revisit
back.
it.
Let's talk some Buccaneers Browns football, if we have to. Right, Lianne Davies, Buccaneers Browns.
I think both teams are doing reasonable. I'm going to go Browns. I think it's their opportunity to get another win.
I would always like to see the Browns win, but I think the Buccaneers have got this one. Benji.
Both both pretty inconsistent at the moment. I fancy the Browns, actually. I think they're on the up.
Yeah, you do.
Good lad. Paul Williams.
I'm wearing the jersey.
So Buccaneers, yeah.
I'm backing the boys.
Go for it.
And the main man, Baker.
Colin.
Mr. Winston is going to come up trumps again. Bucks.
The Bucks. Okay, bit of a
I need
mixture
to
across the board.
change my view. I think the Buccaneers will win. I would like to see the Browns win.
One for Mr. Keep here. The Jaguars versus the Texans. Colin Wright. Jaguars Texans. Go.
I think they've been struggling with the Texans with only one decent wide receiver. Depends if Mr. Fuller's playing. Another one plays. If he's back in the game, gets his receptions, then I think it's Texans again. But I think it's going to be Jaguars, really, to be honest. I think Wolves struggling.
Jaguars. Paul Williams.
Yeah, I'd agree on that one. Jaguars. They need a win. They need to arrest the slide they currently find themselves in. So,
Benji, you backing your boys?
Yeah, man. I think it's going to be a good week for Bulls, and the D will be back up. I bloody hope so. They do need this win. If they lose this, I think it could be a bit of a downhill slump. It's not a good start. But yeah, I think the Jags will beat the Texans. I think they'll step up, and then they'll smash it in London as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all over the Jaguars on that one.
Yeah, I agree.
Jaguars.
Clean sweep.
So we've got some Dolphins-Lions football. Lianne Davies.
Ooh, Lions.
I am also Lions on that one.
Fresh off the bye.
Benji?
All over the Dolphins this season, actually. Yeah, I think they'll surprise a few people. I think they'll beat the Lions.
I am liking the Dolphins this season, but they seem to have they had a lot of momentum, a lot of steam, and then I think it's maybe gone. But yeah, Paul.
That's another one of those pick'em games for me. I could see either team
game,
win.
isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Gun to your head.
If Osweiler plays as well as he did on Sunday, I'll go with the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. Colin Wright.
The Miami Sound Machine.
The Miami
as quick
Sound
as
Machine.
that.
Straight out there. Right then, Colin, tell us what you think to Ravens versus the Saints.
At the minute, Cole, all we can see is your forehead, and there we go.
Sorry.
He's back.
Just checking the fixtures. Ravens putting up some defence up, but I think Drew is going to have a good comeback this weekend. Orleans.
So you're thinking the Saints on that one?
The Saints, yeah.
Yeah. Paul?
That's a tough game.
It's a tough pick.
Saints at the Ravens. Two pretty good defences going up against each other.
Yep.
I absolutely hate Joe Flacco. Saints.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say Saints on this one. I was thinking Ravens, but I think I'm going to stick with the Saints. Ben?
Yeah, I think the Saints have got a comfortable control over the NFC South. I don't see any change.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
Saints, yeah.
Although, to be fair, they would have to beat the Rams.
That is true.
So it could be tricky.
Very true. Very true.
What I feel personally is like a classic NFL game. The Redskins versus the Cowboys. Classic NFL football. Lianne Davies, go.
I'm going to say the Redskins.
It is in Washington, so...
Up until this week, I'd have maybe gone the Cowboys, but part of me's saying maybe go Redskins. Benji?
Yeah, apparently Washington's a tough place to play. So I think given that, I think the Skins although Cowboys are on a big high after walking over.
That was a big win. That was a big win for them to beat the Jags.
That's a lot of points. And let's face it, the Jags defense is not shit. So
no.
Although they were very poor, but the Cowboys just outplayed them in every way. So I think I don't know that. Yeah, I'll go Skins anyway. But it's gonna be a good game, I think.
Paul. It's a coin toss for Paul Williams.
It's a tough. That's one of those games that I quite enjoy sitting down to watch.
Yeah, to me that's like a Thanksgiving game. That is.
Yeah, well, the Cowboys are always.
Cowboys always play, so they, to me they should play the Redskins every Thanksgiving.
I'll adopt the Colin Wright tactic on this one and say the Cowboys will win because Ezekiel Elliott will have a massive game.
You need him to have it.
All right, Lianne, calm down. There's no need to get personal.
Colin, Cowboys, Redskins.
Dallas Cowboys.
He's back in the Cowboys.
Are you now exclusively dealing in sound bites, Colin?
Well, I'm following the hands of brevity. Just say it like it is.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
No. I don't even need to ask what the outcome of this game's going to be.
Oh my god! Oh, no.
The 6-0 LA Rams versus the 1-5.
Yes.
Weren't they on the list of 1-5? San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to say that the 49ers are going to win this one?
This could be their week. Or not.
I would love to see the odds.
Right.
Know the odds?
So
8,000 to 1.
So, just having a quick check.
Stick a tenner on that.
So the Niners are at home, and they'll still be the heavy underdog.
Yeah.
It won't even be close. This is one of those games where I'm panicking because I'm playing Tom, and as previously discussed, he's got Todd Gurley. I don't fancy seeing Todd Gurley just gallivanting through a very weak 49ers secondary.
He's gonna turn him
Oh
over.
man,
Just gonna
it's a bit of a catch-22 for me though because I've got him in my other league, so I kind of want him to score points, but I don't want him to score too many points because he's gonna shit the bed.
I'm the same.
And then I'm gonna be fucked.
I've got him in the other league. Does anybody want to dispute that it's a Rams victory, Colin?
No.
Secret 49ers fan over there?
Well, yeah, I mean, the big ball hat, but I think I'd be stupid to go against the
I think even
Rams.
a fan would.
LA.
Yeah. Even a fan, even if Toots was here right now, he'd be like, no, I'm sorry, it's Rams win. Right, Chiefs, Bengals. Cole?
What I'm thinking about it's got to be my man Mahomes.
Absolutely.
Nice. The choice.
Chiefs.
The what, sorry? Chiefs.
Choice.
Paul?
Had they not lost against the Patriots, and I said that had been a fairly standard win, the Bengals aren't a bad team.
Not a bad team. They're sitting in this area at the moment where they're like, they can play the game. I think they're just unfortunate at the points that they're playing really well.
Yeah.
To be going up against teams that are just playing better.
Yeah.
So they're quite well rounded. They just keep unfortunately getting beaten at the times that they're playing well.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll go Chiefs.
It's Chiefs. It's Chiefs.
The Chiefs are at home as well. So.
Ben?
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs on this one as well, I think. Not comfortable, though. I think it'll be close.
Yeah, it's going to be a close game. Lianne Davies?
Chiefs.
Okay. Chiefs! And our final Tuesday morning game of the week is the Falcons versus the Giants.
Oh.
Ugh.
Do we...
Another one that's been like that, so
do we care?
So the NFL has chosen to bookend the week with the Broncos versus the Cardinals and the Falcons versus the Giants. Jesus Christ. They really don't care about the TV audience, do they?
Lianne, Falcons, Giants. Do you give a shit?
No.
Do you give a shit?
Nope. But I'm going to go with the Giants on this one.
Go with
This
the
is-
Giants.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is a big call.
Ben?
Why not? I mean, I can imagine if I was Matt Ryan, I'd be rubbing my hands together about now. But I don't know. Yeah, I suppose you never know. It could be anyone's. I mean, I'll go Falcons.
Falcons from Ben. Yeah, it's my throwaway pick on this one. I think it's going to be the Falcons.
I would love for Manning to turn it around though and just absolutely smash it, but he's not going to. Be nice.
Paul Williams.
I can't see anything other than a Falcons win on this one. The Giants are so bad, and they just can't get it together on either side of the ball. Like Eli looks like he's running in treacle. He's not helped by Beckham just sort of like telling everyone that there's listening to him just that he's shit. And so
I'm not sure what's going on that team at the moment. Cole,
bring it on, boy.
It's going to be a touchdown fest, won by a 3-point conversion late on.
A 3-point conversion. I don't even know what that is. Do you mean a field goal?
That's the one.
A 3-point conversion. Oh, Cole, you are tremendous.
We'll go with
Calvin Johnson sells his thanks. So you
Just
going?
out of interest as well, just going back to what we were saying earlier, the San Francisco 49ers are 41-10 on to beat the Rams.
Jesus,
get a tenner on
so
it.
4-1 to win a home game. Shit the bed.
Also going backwards, I'd like to. So, not that I'm going on about it, but something I wanted to just put out there that might need to be addressed. At the Seahawks Raiders game, there was like chants. Now the Raiders didn't seem to have a chant, but the Seahawks did.
Or a chance.
Whee.
My dog's
So
just waking up. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
okay, bye. So the Seahawks had there was people chanting, so they would chant C. Hawks.
See Shanty.
Hawks. But when you've got
That's original chance.
when you've got a lot of people chanting the same thing,
Oh, like someone should just like sort of like Seattle.
it loses a little something in translation, so you can't hear it quite as clear. The first couple of times I heard that chant, I went, "Have we joined the Third Reich or something?"
You thought there was a Ezekiel?
Yes!
What the fuck?
And as the day went on, and the multiple times I heard that chant, all I could think was,
oh no.
somebody really needs to address that chant and maybe point out that it sounds a little bit close to something that we probably shouldn't be shouting.
Oh god.
Just want to throw that out to tidy week 6 up.
Oh my god.
So there we go. Wow. Week 6 in the bag, ladies and gentlemen. Some of us have had wins, some of us have had losses, but we've all had a good time, I feel.
No, we have not.
We all had a good time.
Incorrect.
We all had a good time.
Not only did I lose in this league, I also lost in my other league, having scored 150 fucking points. Yeah.
I went to my first live NFL game, and it was truly spectacular. It is a sight to behold.
I got asked a question by my brother, which he raises every time he sees one of the London games.
Huh?
What was the atmosphere like? Because it's famously very different to if you go to a game in America. Because it's not really home team versus away team, whereas it will be in America.
Very, very different.
It is.
They've obviously tried to make it a much bigger thing. I said to Lianne that it's not like you see it on TV. It's harder to follow That's for sure. The atmosphere, like I say, there was chanting. There was a Mexican wave. There was 85,000 people there.
There was a halftime show.
There was no halftime show. There was an opening show though. Some woman. It was one of those situations where I turned to Rob and went, "Who is she?" But then I recognised the song.
It was on your ticket, wasn't it?
It was Jess Glynn.
There you go.
Glynn. Right, okay.
I recognised the song she sang. I was
Excellent.
like, I recognise that.
Check it out with your popular music knowledge.
I know. I was like, I recognise this song. And it wasn't that bad. It was alright.
It wasn't terrible.
You know. So yeah, you can tell they're trying. They're trying to make sure, there was fireworks. They had like big flame blowers in the corners. They had people coming out every sort of time there was a decent break in the game. Firing t-shirts and bouncing up and down on the stilt things.
Did they have the cheerleaders for both sides, or just the Raiders?
Just the Raiders. And that the big TV was helpful when the team was down the other end of the field. It certainly wasn't like you see it on TV, but they are definitely putting a lot into making this work. And I said I will definitely go again, and I would want to get a closer seat next time. I'd want to see it closer.
Pricey though. Yeah,
but I was saying to Lianne, I was like, I've shelled out about £400 on tickets for various different things in the last few weeks, and I'm prepared to spend £100 to go and see Metallica, so surely I should be able to say I'm prepared to spend similar.
Bloody right as well.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Oh, here we go.
Here he is. Good lad, Ben. Good lad.
Yeah.
Me and Ben have got a kinship,
an affinity.
Yeah. Not only are we fan of the boys, we also share a tattoo kinship.
Inkage.
Yeah.
Branded.
We are branded for life. Does anybody have anything to finish up our Week 6 review, Week 7 preview? Colin Wright.
No, but it's been emotional.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you here, quite frankly. My co-host Paul Williams. Anything for the finisher?
No, but potentially if I go see the game, I'll be able to give a breakdown like you did this week. Next week.
And bring us
crossed. I have to bring assorted goodies back for the table and for the group.
If you do end up going, then pre-order on the NFL site and collect on the day.
Click and collect.
I have seen that before.
Click and collect. There was about 6 people in the click and collect queue. There's about 60,000 in the other one. 2.5 hours. They were reckoning it was going to take to get through that queue. I met a former NFL player. I met Walter Jones. He's a defensive tackle. Or he was a defensive tackle for the Seahawks. Ben Keep. Anything for the end?
Cheers for having me on, and I'm sorry I was away saving lives last week.
Well,
upset anyone.
Let's put it this way, Ben. We're going to let you off this time. But next time...
no lives will be saved next time. Priorities. Get your priorities right.
Exactly. That is exactly it, Ben. Priorities.
Absolutely. I agree. You're right. No, cheers for having me on. Cheers.
Thank you for making the time. I mean, you are sort of making up from last week and filling in for us this week. So you've got us out of a bind on that one. So I really appreciate you coming on. Lianne Davies, take us home.
Nothing to add.
Nothing from you.
No.
Right then, people. As is always the way, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being part of it, taking time out of your days, out of your schedules and stuff. It's really appreciated. And we'll finish her up there.
Excellent.
Cheers, guys.
That saluting will just be the way the podcast ends. So
over and out.
Not saluting like
he's still going. He's doing 85 salutes.
Yeah, he's waiting for you to turn the camera on. Right, let's finish her up there. Thank you. Bye.
Top button, yeah.
Right, top button.
Cheers,
and
guys.
top button again.
Cheers,
Bye,
Ben.
Benji.
Right, Benji. Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers, guys. Later.
Au revoir.
He sounds just like James.
Of course he does.
But more, I don't know, slightly more sophisticated.
Slightly less ready to kill someone.
Slightly less London.
London, mate.
So there you go. What did you think to that? Are you winning in your league this week? I had a win, which was good. Obviously, unfortunately for Paul, still languishing at the bottom of the league with So them's the breaks of the fantasy football season. For you YouTube watchers, comment and share and do all those things. For everyone who listens or watches in any way, shape or form, jump over to the Cookiecast.com. Jump all over the social media stuff. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know how you're getting on in your fantasy league. Join us next week. Hopefully more special guests and more NFL Week 7 of the 2018 fantasy season and obviously NFL season. But until next time, I'm going to say bye-bye.